here we're going to look at factoring where we have two variables. So you notice instead of just being like x squared, x, and then a number, we have x and y in here. And we also notice that it starts with something other than 1. So this looks like an AC method factoring. If you haven't watched the AC method factoring video yet, I would suggest to go back to that one. Factoring a quadratic with leading coefficient greater than 1 describes the method. And so if we look at this, A, B, C are coefficients. We want two factors of AC. So 4 times 12, right? 4 is A, 12 is C. So AC is 48. We need two factors of 48 that add to B, our middle term, which is negative 19. So I'll start writing down some factors of 48 and see if we can find them. I think 2 and 24, that would be like splitting 48 in half. Now think all of our factors are going to have to both be negative because I need them to multiply to positive 48 but add to negative 19. So that adds to negative 26, so that doesn't quite work. So we'll keep writing factors. Maybe 3 and 16 multiply to 48, so negative 3 and negative 16. There we found the two that add to negative 19. What do I do once I find that? Negative 3 and negative 16 are the right way to split up my middle term. So here I'm going to rewrite my whole problem, but instead of negative 19xy, I'm going to put minus 3 minus 16xy. And notice if I get like terms together, that's the same as negative 19, it's just I split it up. Why would I want to split it up? Because now I can make two groups of 2 and I can factor by grouping. So what can I factor out of 4x squared and 3xy? 4 and 3 don't have any common factors, but they both certainly have an x, so I can at least factor out an x. And I'll be left with 4x minus 3y. Right, multiply it back in there to make sure it works. All right, what can I factor out of 12 and 16? Probably a 4, but I also see this first one's negative, and I usually don't want that. So maybe I should do negative 4 instead of just 4. And then also notice they both have a y, right? This one has a y and that one has a y squared. And so what will we be left with? Well, 4y, negative 4y times 4x should give me negative 16xy. And then negative 4 times negative 3 would be positive 12, so be careful of those. And y times y would give me y squared. All right, when I step back, I notice that I've done it correctly, because notice how this 4x minus 3y matches. And so that's telling me I can factor that out of both of these larger terms. So 4x minus 3y, and my other factor is what's left. So x minus 4y. And then just like in a lot of these AC method ones, because they're a little longer, it's a good idea to check it by foiling. And even if you're just checking without even writing it, make sure it matches up with what we start. So our first term, 4x times x, is 4x squared. My inside term is negative 3xy. My outside term is negative 16xy. So there's where those numbers were important. And then my last term is negative 3y times negative 4y. So positive 12y squared. So it seems to match up with what I wanted. So notice the two variables doesn't change the method at all. All the factoring still works out and you still go about the same method.